Hello, my good people. This is the part one. There is still part two, and you don't have to miss what I'm talking in this video because it will be of great importance when you decide to buy your next vehicle. As you understand, we mostly bought vehicles from Japan, Thailand, Singapore, and other countries. And I want to tell you, generally, this is the fact. Car buying process is not an easy task. And this is because many people don't understand the car industry and or what it has to offer. When we talk about the car pricing in Mombasa, you have to understand that these are not brand new vehicles, and they have different prices. That is the reason why you when you come to Mombasa, the first thing, if you are not very keen, you will get confused because in every showroom you get to trying to buy your vehicle, they will give you a different prices, and they have very valid reason for giving you different prices for different vehicle. Let's talk about something to do with market price, which many people don't understand. And this is the first step of your journey of acquiring a vehicle. The earlier you understand, you know the market price of particular vehicle, the safer you are. When is just like any other industry, if you find undervalued item or something which looks very cheap, you need to be very careful. And that's why we need to talk about the market price of a vehicle. If you have planned you are going for a Toyota Harrier, then understand how much is retailing for. For example, let's talk about the Toyota Harrier, which currently is retailing for around 3.8 to around 4.2, according to factors which I will tell you in this video. If you find undervalued vehicle maybe on internet and so forth, you need to be very careful because undervaluing vehicles is one of the tricks which conmen use to steal from unsuspecting customers. In some platforms you will find undervalued vehicles. Let's say this is retailing for 3.8. You can find a website which is advertising a Toyota Harrier 2018 model with around 3 million. That is a red flag, and that is the reason why you need to understand the market value of a particular vehicle. So what really uh, determines how much a particular model is retailing for? Mostly, there's a reason why I chose to shoot this video in this particular showroom which is located in Mombasa. As you can see from the video, the units are very clean. Even from looking from afar, these units are very clean. But one thing you have to understand, they are not cheap. They are not very cheap. In other showrooms, you will find cheaper options. And I'll tell you why these vehicles may be expensive. Or alternatively, you won't find a cheap vehicle in this showroom. Number one, there is something we call the auction grade. Many people assume that all vehicles which are important, they are of the same quality, which is not true. You realize most of these cars are sold by auction. In Japan and other countries, they have that system of selling vehicles on auction. And during the auction, these vehicles are graded for easy so that the customers can first identify a vehicle. You know, in some these countries it is very easy to tell the condition of vehicle by just simply following the auction sheet. So I will attach an auction sheet and how it looks. So the auction grade literally means it means the overall cleanness of the car. The auction grade in Kenya, mostly it is accepted to import a vehicle of grade 3.5 upwards. So auction grade 3.5 is the minimum required. In that sense, you will find some vehicles at 3.5 grade 4, grade 4.5, and some to 4.8, like the almost the brand new vehicles which come with the mileage of less than 10,000 and so forth. So the first thing you have to check the auction grade of the vehicle you are buying. It is through knowing these things that you are able to tell if you are getting a better deal or not. Because you can get to somewhere and you realize the price is very low. Unfortunately, you don't understand that the auction grade of that vehicle is low. Another thing which you have to be keen about after the auction grade, you have to do things like on the auction grade. Anytime you are buying a car, just request for the auction sheet, which in most cases the dealer is able to give you the auction sheet. Other thing we'll be talking about is the engine options of this vehicle. On the before the engine options, let's talk about trim levels. When you get to the market, let's say for a Toyota Foxy, for a good example, I'll give you Toyota Area or Mazda CX-5. In some cases, you will find that we have the base model and we have what we call fully loaded options. And this is where many people get confused. Before you understand if a vehicle is fully loaded or is higher trim levels, you have to understand what the base model has to offer. Because many people are buying base models in the name of being fully loaded vehicle. And those are the languages if you are not very keen. I always tell people if you are not conversant with car buying process, just get someone who is conversant and is an expert in cars. So let's talk about the trim levels. For the base model, trim level is literally where you will find the Toyota area with the sunroof. You will find another Toyota area which does not have sunroof. Toyota area will find the base model as some linen fabric seats, and fully loaded options will find that it has some full leather seats, it has some heated seats and so forth. So those are the kind of trim levels you should be talking, and they really contribute about the pricing of the vehicles. You have to understand things like the Toyota Haxio, WXB, Toyota Haxio, normal one, and all that kind of stuff. They affect the pricing of vehicles. In most cases, there could be around 300,000 to 400,000 difference between the base model and the fully loaded options. So if you are looking for a vehicle and you want to know if you are getting a better deal or a bad deal, you have to understand, is this vehicle a fully loaded one? Is this vehicle, what is the auction grade of this vehicle, and so forth. So another thing you have to check while you are buying your next vehicle, you have to check about the engine options, and this is where things get tough. I had some client had called me. He wanted to sell his vehicle, and as you know, we sell on behalf on GaryAfrica.com. So what client was complaining about, he was complaining that he bought a vehicle which had a low displacement. He was looking for a 1800cc, and he ended up buying 1500cc instead of 1800cc, and that's why you have to be very keen about the engine options you are buying. For a vehicles, you will find that there are different engine options. For example, the Toyota has the 14-seater Matatu. You realize there is 3000cc diesel engine, and there is 2700cc. We have the petrol and diesel engine. All those we have to understand. So you have to understand if the vehicle is petrol or it is diesel, because each comes with its own advantages and disadvantages. So you have to be very keen when you are buying, and be sure if you are buying the correct displacement. For the displacement, still you realize the prices really differ. For the premium, you can find 1800cc or 1500cc. All those are things you have to consider. Another thing is the drivetrain. This is mostly where many people get it wrong. In the Kenyan market, you in or in the car industry, you realize you're either buying two-wheel drive, four-wheel drive, or four-wheel drive optional. And in different car models, they are denoted differently. For a Mercedes, you will find things like 4MATIC. For Audi, you will find things like Quattro. In Mazda CX-5s and Mazdas and Toyotas, they will, and Subarus, maybe they will call it all-wheel drive deviated with OWD. Those are some things which you have to understand when it comes to choosing a vehicle, because many people, after they have bought the vehicle and they have driven to their homes, is when they get stuck and they realize I bought a two-wheel drive instead of four-wheel drive, which suits my environment. So you have to be very very keen. Ensure you choose the drivetrain which suits your environment, because again you realize many people don't need four-wheel drives, because most people are mostly in towns and they won't need the four-wheel drives options. So, and you understand the four-wheel drive of course comes with its own costs when it comes to fuel efficiency and all stuff. Again, when it comes to the drivetrain, you realize the vehicles really differ. Mostly, in most cases, you will find four-wheel drives are cheaper than two-wheel drive. Other times, you will find two-wheel drives are more cheaper compared to four-wheel drives options. And all those narrows down to the specific vehicle you are looking for. Another thing we have to talk about when we are buying a vehicle, after you have identified the vehicle, you have to choose about the fuel type, the if it is petrol and or it is diesel, and do research about the disadvantages and the advantages of them of each. For example, you realize the Toyota Hiace diesel is more expensive than the petrol version with over 500,000, which is very, you have to be very keen. Another thing is this is Nissan X-Trail. When you are buying Nissan X-Trail, you have to be very vigilant. You can find four-wheel drive optional, or you can go for two-wheel drive. I think you can go for seven-seater or go for five-seater. All these are some of the things which you have to understand before you get into showroom. You don't have to do research on all vehicles, but the specific vehicle you are going for, just do more research about it. Another thing we'll talk about is something which we call the fuel. We have talked about the fuel type. Another thing is the mileage, which is very important. When you are going to buy a vehicle, understand how to ascertain the genuine mileage. In some cases, there have been allegation of some dealers altering the mileage, not even before it is important. Even before it is reported, there is issues of mileage being altered. So if you want to ascertain the genuine mileage when you are buying a car, you can use KOSJ website and you find all the website, the detail, the chassis number in the website. After that, you can get the actual report and when it was inspected. That is the reason why in every vehicle you will find some stickers, and in other vehicles you won't find the stickers. So you can actually go to KSJ Japan and ascertain things to do with mileage and so forth. before I can conclude this, I have attached this Toyota Succeed. As you understand, some basic products and Succeed don't have very basic seats. They are very basic, but as you can see, this Toyota Succeed. This is what we call fully loaded. You can see it here some headrests. So this vehicle, you will find it is retailing for around 1.45. The basic Toyota Probox or Succeed, you will find it with 1.2. So those are some of the things you have to equip yourself with and understand the most of the vehicles you are buying. Another thing I will talk about, you have to check hybrid and non-hybrid. Most people don't many people may not have an information that there are hybrid versions. Like this Probox, it is hybrid. You can easily tell by the blue badge in the front, and the good thing about it, it is indicated in the vehicle details and all that. So these are hybrid Probox. This is how you can ascertain the hybrid vehicle. And one thing about doing your research is that you are able to get fine details. You are able to understand vehicles of different categories and all that. So make sure you wait for our next video so that you can learn more. Thank you.